Hey guys, welcome to Rock Talks. Today we're talking to Esjay Jones, singer and producer of the All Stars project We Are Pigs. We discuss her latest collaboration with Brian Head Welch from Korn and Love and Death, what it was like to produce Chester Bennington's band Great Days, why she loves Deftones so much, and more. If you like this interview, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share the video with all your friends. Also, very important, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. By the way, if you see a little advertisement at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the video, please do not skip it. By doing that, you're helping me a lot. Come on, guys, it's just a few seconds of your life, and it will really make a difference for me. I'm counting on all of you. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Esjay. How are you? Thank you so much for your time again. Welcome to Rock Talks.
What's up, my dude? How's everything going on in Peru?
Doing great nowadays. Really busy, trying to keep my mind occupied. That's the best. Right, so let's talk about your new or your latest single with We Are Pigs. It's called Kids, right?
It sure is.
Yeah, you recorded this song with Brian Head Welch from
Yeah,
Korn and Love and
yeah,
Death.
pretty crazy, right?
Oh yeah. I got really excited, and the song totally rocks. It's really amazing. So could you please tell me how was the recording process for this song?
So I had this idea started after watching Euphoria, that show with Zendaya. I don't know if you've seen the show, but I put together a track idea. And then I hit up Head, and because it was during the pandemic, I felt like it was a good time to reach out to people because musicians weren't touring. And so I reached out to him and said, like, hey, I've got this idea started. How would you feel about jumping on and we can finish writing the track? This is kind of the idea. And he loved the concept, and he loved the bass, the foundation of the track. And he said, hey, do you mind if I get my guitarist JR from Love and Death to try some new guitars on this? So we basically took all the guitars off that were on there, and he recreated the guitar parts, and then we built the song from there. So it was really cool. It was kind of like a digital postal service, just going back and forth, kind of the same way we did with Morgan.
Yeah. Morgan. So you didn't actually meet together in studio?
Not for this song, no. Head and I first met physically together when I was producing the Grey Days record, the project that Chester Bennington was working on just before he passed away. And so in my mind, Chester brought Head and I together to be able to collaborate on this song. So even though we weren't in the physical sense with each other when we created this song, we definitely created it metaphysically, over the interwebs.
Yeah, totally. They say some things are really meant to be, right?
Totally.
Whereas you got the chance to meet physically or not, because we live already in a digital world thanks to the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So you said that you got to work with the guitar player from Love and Death, right? So him and Head actually re-recorded the guitar part for this song. So you actually wrote the song together.
Correct. Yeah. So this was a collaboration. I had the kind of building bricks, the foundation of the song there. I had melody ideas, some lyric ideas, and then Head was like, hey, let's get my boy JR to jump on. JR is probably one of the most insane guitarists I have ever seen. If you are a fan of Love and Death. And if you don't know Love and Death, you should go and check it out because JR's guitar parts are ridiculous. His tone is amazing, and he absolutely brought this song to life. Without JR, the song wouldn't be what it is. Without Head, the song wouldn't be what it is, you know? So it was 100% a collaboration, everybody's minds and musical minds coming together. And initially, the concept of the song was the kids aren't all right. Because after watching the show, I was like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm not that old, but when I was a kid, it like life wasn't this hard. Social media has created a whole different level of problems for kids. You know, there's
totally.
Social media is seen as some form of currency, and it's just changed everything about the way that we do life. And I just think it puts a whole different set of problems and pressures on youth. And then Brian was like, no, we got to say the kids are all right, you know, because they're gonna be okay. We're gonna figure out, like, whether it's in that a God, or whether it's, you know, some kind of hope, or skateboarding or surfing, or whatever your outlet may be. There's got to be like some goodness that we can channel into the universe for kids to be okay and come out on the other side. So
there's a positive message on in this song.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics are darkish because, you know, I'm just talking about everything that I've seen. You know, it's whether it be girls having to find their worth in sex and drugs, because that's what the world tells us as women, that's what our worth is. You know, our worth is only as good as your body and your face. You know, so it touches on that, and it's kind of like trying to change that these are lies that the world is selling us. These are lies that social media is selling us. These are lies that are being spoken over our lives, and we are powerful beings full of energy, and we need to walk forward in that power.
Oh, yeah, at the end of the day, we're human beings, not a currency, correct?
Yep.
Totally. Yeah, and Brian recorded some vocals in this track, right?
He sure did. And his voice, I love his voice. He's got such a great range. You know, I wanted it to be, I said to him, like, you know, I want it to be kind of intimate and whispery kind of a vocal, you know, so that it gives you chills down your spine when you listen to it. And I think we achieved that. Yeah,
it's a great track. I really like it. Like you said, it's really somber at times and really heavy at the same time. So it's a great collaboration. So in this project, We Are Pigs, you have so many guests, you know, right? Morgan, Lander, Brian Headwelch, Billy Corgan, and some people from POD, right? The drummer, I think. Right?
No, the singer and guitar player. It's the whole band.
All right, and Crazy Town as well. So, are you ever gonna put this project live on the stage? Because it will be difficult to bring everybody together, right?
Well, I've just put a band together. We've started rehearsing, and we plan on touring this next year. And it's going to be, we're running it pretty track heavy, you know, so whether we can run it as a 2-piece, we can run it as a 3-piece, you know, there's a lot of 808s and like kind of trappy things going on in it, but we've got a drummer, a guitarist, and myself. So currently it's a 3-piece. Terry Corso from Alien Ant Farm is the guitar player.
Oh, nice.
So you know, we're all like seasoned musicians and seasoned touring people, and we want to get out onto the road and melt some faces. So it's going to be fun. We put our playback rig together, which means you know, that we will be playing the vocals. So for example, even though Head's not there, you'll be able to hear his vocal in the track when it's playing.
Samples.
It's just easy. It makes sense. It makes sense to work it that way. and hopefully one day we'll get to perform the songs live with Morgan and with Head.
Oh yeah, maybe in a big festival with all those bands on the bill, right?
I envision that, man.
So,
I see it.
It's in the universe out there already.
It sure is, and I believe in that. So that's happening for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, you're using samples to try to recreate this live, and I think that's a very efficient way to do things nowadays, especially because the music industry, you know, it works really different than it used to be a few decades ago, right? You have to be really efficient with the money that you're spending.
I agree. I mean, you look at, it's kind of difficult because you want it to be a band, you know, it's like you want to be on stage with 5 people rocking out, but that's also 5 people that you have to pay.
Exactly.
So it's like you think about why like DJs are doing so well. They hit a play button and there's one person to pay, you know. So like, what is this that we're living in? Times are crazy.
You're so right.
So I mean, it's finding the balance, you know. It's like I want to have the energy and of a live band. So we'll figure it out. Right now, it's a 3-piece and it's a really great energy. So we'll take it from there and see how it goes.
So do you already have some touring dates scheduled for next year?
We're in chat with a couple of festivals. So we're just putting everything together and hoping to get over to you next year.
Oh, great.
If the world doesn't shut down again, we hope.
Yeah. So it will be you singing on guitar and a drummer and a bass player, right?
And a guitar player. So the guitar player, drummer, and myself, 3-piece.
Oh, no bass player.
No bass player, because the tracks, like how I've produced all of the We Are Pigs tracks is that it's pretty 808 and synth, like bass synth heavy. There's no live bass in any of the tracks, so it's just programmed. So I'll just be running the program tracks, which is kind of cool because it gives us like, we have a live drummer over it, which gives you that live feel, live guitars, and then you still get that big bassy low end, which everybody loves.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Plus your guitar is tuned really low, right? I think
super low. It's a 7-string, and I think we're tuned to like A and A sharp, I think.
All right. In another interview with this girl from North Africa that actually lived in Paris, in France. You did you did this interview in January, I think, this year. You said that Sean from Cedar was the guy who took you under his wing when you got to LA to start over in your music career. So what can you say about that story with Sean and you in LA?
Oh man, it's been so many years now. When I first got to the States, so Cedar is also a South African band, American band now, but started out in South Africa. And my band at the time in South Africa, called Stealing Love Jones, supported Cedar on a couple of tours, and so Sean and I became good friends. And we've unfortunately lost touch over the years, but when I first got to the United States, you know, I think Sean had learned a lot about like how different the US culture is to what like we were brought up in. And he just gave me some really good advice about moving to San Diego, finding a group of friends that I could really kind of network with and get a good support system before moving to LA, because LA is a tough place to be. Everybody's on the hustle. It's kind of like Squid Games, you know. Everybody's like willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they win. It's very driven by money, and I think, you know, I'm definitely a person that's not driven by money, which has been sometimes a good thing, sometimes a very bad thing for my career. But I think Sean's advice, just getting a good support system to start in the United States was a really good piece of advice. And I would give that to anybody else too. Like, find a team around you that supports you and wants to see you succeed, and willing to help you get to see your vision come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. What year was that?
2009.
Oh, so Cedar was already big in the States.
Back yeah, they were big. Yeah, it was like September 2009, and Sean was living in Santa Monica, and I lived there with him for a little while, and it was really cool just to see kind of his way of life in the States, and his stories, and yeah. I mean, I miss the guy. I'm hoping that one day we can reconnect and
do some collaboration, some touring would be great.
Right? That would be awesome.
It's out there again.
It's out there. I claim
it. Great. Yeah, Cedar is a great band. One of my favorites from that era. Right, I really love the first 3 or 4 albums and the Unplugged as well. The latest stuff is good as well, but the first 3 are awesome, you know, especially back then when that movement was really big in the whole world, actually.
Totally, man. Like that, those Cedar records just changed the world, I think. It's really cool to see just Sean's story, you know, like the same, just another little South African kind of out there making huge waves. And I mean, Sean's considered, I mean, he has like, I don't know, 12 #1 hits or something. It's crazy. Like if not more, 17 #1 hits. Like he's just a songwriting machine, like a hit songwriting machine.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I remember back in 2001, maybe. You know, even in 2001, Cedar had some fans here in Peru. You know, can you imagine that? And I was reading about the band, and I found out that they were from South Africa, and I was like, "Holy crap! They are from really, really far away from the States, and they are making it big. So good for them, you know."
Totally.
So, Esjay, any updates on your collaboration with Chino from Deftones?
I wish. I've reached out to the guy many times, and
keep pushing.
I'm still waiting. Hey, listen, like until he's like, Esjay, stop texting me. I'm gonna keep pushing that button, because I mean, you never know. It's like, I mean, you know, I think you always have to find the balance. You don't want to be an incredibly annoying person. But you know, it's like you also can't be afraid to ask, and like again, the worst thing somebody can say is no. So
exactly.
I haven't followed up probably since the last time we spoke, but I mean, Chino has so much going on in his life. I see he's doing a new Crosses record, which I'm really excited about. I love that stuff, and We Are Pigs is pretty much like based off of the Crosses kind of
agree.
feel,
I agree.
you know? So I definitely, I mean, it's no secret I'm a huge fan, and he's a huge influence, and yeah, we will one day we will get something. Maybe when I'm old and gray, we can do like an acoustic cover together or something. I don't know. We'll see.
I totally see that. You know, it's like Chino's voice and your voice totally matches. They go together. They would go together really, really great. And this reminds me that you did a Duality cover, right? A Slipknot song in an acoustic way. And I think that was the very first time that you caught my attention, like wow, this is really amazing, because it was a Slipknot cover, but it sounded like a Deftones version of it.
Oh wow, right? That's cool, man.
So how did you finally did this cover in that way, like singing in that way?
I mean, I feel like I just you know, when you are trying to interpret something on an acoustic guitar, it needs to be approached in a different way. And I think that's when my skill set as being a producer kind of kicks in, and going, okay, cool. So how do we translate what we've done onto an acoustic instrument that you can play by yourself? So it's just simplifying the strumming patterns, simplifying the chords, figuring out like how to play like I don't know, a 6-string thing on like a, I can't even, oh, and I think because it was done in like I think I tuned it down to like, if I'm not mistaken, I tuned it down to like something crazy like B. I can't even remember, but yeah, I can't even remember what I did. I need to relook at how I was playing that. But it's like, you know, being able to sit and play a song for somebody just like with an acoustic guitar and be able to hold it with just like this instrument and your vocal. That's kind of how I approached it, you know. So it's, yeah, I can't even remember what I tuned it to. I'll have to relook. But just finding that level of intimacy, just to be able to be like, I push my fingers into my eyes.
Amazing.
You know, it's the only thing that's slowly stop. Like making it just a little sweeter and a little more haunting, because the lyrics are really dark and the concept of that song is really dark, but you turn it into like a, you know, this nursery rhyme on the acoustic guitar. And I think Billy Corgan's a huge influence to me in that, because just how he sits with his acoustic and he takes his songs, which are these huge hits, and he just reinterprets them, and maybe a little bit slower, maybe just a slightly different chord structure. And I think all these things, and why art is so open to interpretation, you know, I really do believe that you know, there's like, you can't really say, oh, I don't like that, because it's somebody's art, you know. To somebody it's the greatest thing they've ever made in the world. And I love that. I love that.
Now that you mentioned that, I just realized that in fact there is a big Billy Corgan influence on that cover. Right? It's like Chino meets Billy Corgan meets Esjay, right? Perfect match.
I feel like we're all like in the same kind of family, you know. And yeah, I mean, it's strange because I've just working on one of the We Are Pig songs with Billy, you know. It's like we didn't do that over in person either. It's just been done over emails and back and forth. So it's been a really impersonal project, but incredibly satisfying and incredibly artistic, because it's kind of, I'm just handing it over and saying, do whatever you feels right to you, and I'm going to respond to that and take whatever you've done, because it's going to be perfect, because it's your art, and I can't tell you whether it's good or not. And these are my heroes, you know, so everything they do is going to be great. So it's
that's
just
a dream come true for you.
I know, it's just a beautiful dance between two artists, you know. It's you give me your ideas and I will figure out how to dance around your idea. So that's all this project is.
It's really interesting that things are working really well together, despite you are doing this in a digital way. And I say this because despite you don't see each other face to face, when you listen to the final result, when you listen to the music, you can really tell that there is a special connection, a special bond with you and the artist guest on those tracks. So how can you explain that magic, doing that in so far away from each other?
I think that's a really great question. You know, these relationships have been curated and you know, over many years. And I think, you know, the fact that I have reached out to these people who are big deals in the music industry, and I'm nobody, you know, but I think that they know.
Not really. Come on.
I think that they have been able to see what my character is as a human being, you know,
Yeah,
just,
I agree.
and I think that translates and transcends space and time and everything else, you know, just being a good human, listening to other people, being interested in other people's art, you know, just there's just something, I don't know, it's a great question, and obviously these guys see and girls see something in me that they think is valuable enough for them to put their time and art and love into, and that really is a testament in itself. So I feel really honored, and I've learned a lot throughout my life, and I haven't always been this person who I feel like I've grown into today. You know, I've learned a lot. I've gone through a lot in life, and I haven't always been kind, and I haven't always been a good human. And I've learned a lot. I've fallen down a lot, and I've had to really look at myself retrospectively and be like, this is not good enough. You are not. This is not how you should behave. This is how you treat people. You know, and I think holding yourself accountable is really important, and all of that builds up to now, where I guess I'm figuring out what kind of human being you should be on earth.
Yeah, great answer, really, because I agree with you in the sense that you have a great personality. I'm not trying to kiss ass or anything, but I really like the way you talk to people, the way you look at people, and maybe you got that same personality while you are working in the studio and with your friends and everybody. And for example, last night I was really bummed about some work bullshit down here, and I was really angry and sad about it. And I was thinking about postponing this interview, but then I remember this girl SJ is really happy. She's always really smiling. She has a great vibe, right? A great aura, let's say. And I watched this interview like that I said earlier with this girl from Paris, and at the very end of the interview, like it was a really long one, like an hour and 20 minutes. I don't usually watch interviews that long. I only watch like 20 minutes, 40 minutes. And but in that case, I was hooked. It was a really good interview, and I left a message to the girl. But at the very end of the interview, you said something that really got me. You said like, if you feel down, if you feel that you didn't accomplish what you wanted, that you didn't accomplish what you want with your life, with your work, anything, remember all the great things that you already got. Remember all the great things that you achieved in your life. And so you gotta keep pushing. You gotta move forward, and don't give up. So thank you so much for that. Those lines.
I really feel like positivity is such an important part of life. Like there's so much, you know, I feel like there's so much depression and anxiety and all of this stuff that's being fed to us. And once again, I think because of social media, and I feel like life is so much simpler than that, you know,
Yeah,
that we need to make ourselves happy. And it's like, how much of all we doing is looking at other people and trying to achieve what other people have and all this other stuff. And I related to myself as well. I'm like, well, you know, I don't have a #1 hit yet, and how do I do that? And it's like we're chasing, but what's really important is like how good you are to yourself, how good you are to your partner, how good you are to your family. That's all that really matters. You die alone. You know,
Yeah.
it's like so what really matters is the people you keep close to you and that make you happy. If you're in a line of work that doesn't make you happy, go find something else. It's like you have full control over everything in your life, and sometimes it's scary, you know, but it really is like you got to keep that positivity. And again, it's like the world is just made of energy, so whatever you're putting out is gonna come to you. And I really feel like I believe in that.
It's like a boomerang, right?
Yeah, I really, really believe in that. And I feel like because, you know, if you put out all of this good energy, like it has to come back to you sometime, maybe not in the timing that you want it to come in, because that's not how the world works, you know, but it's just, I think just holding yourself accountable, just being like, what are the simple things that make me happy? You know, if eating, I don't know, apricots make you happy, then make sure you eat an apricot every day, you know? So something silly, but it's true. It's like life on this earth is so short, and we put such massive pressures on ourselves, and it's just like,
it makes sense. Makes sense what you're saying, that people is always comparing to everybody from what they see on social media, right? Mm-hmm. But to other people like me, it's like more like a competition with myself.
Right.
I'm always pushing myself, like, you can do this better. You can, your work can be better. Your channel can be better. Your relationship can be better.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but if you do this too much, it's kind of sickening.
Yeah,
because
totally.
So you gotta like turn it down a little bit. And remember, like you said, what you already accomplished, what you already got with you. So it's okay to relax a little bit, to move forward later, right?
I agree.
Right. So in the words of Vinnie Paul, because what you said about Chino, I remember something that Vinnie Paul told us like 14, 15 years ago. Persistence pays off, he said, when he was telling the story about how Hell Yeah came together as a band. You know, I don't know if you know this, but Vinnie Paul was the last member to join that band.
Wow.
Chad Gray was there, Tom Maxwell from Nothing Faith was there, and the bass player and the guitar player from Madman as well, and they needed a drummer. So they gave Vinnie Paul a phone call, you know, back then when actually people call people with phone, and they say, hey man, we need a drummer. What about you joined us? He was like, I don't know, I'm not ready to go back to play. He was already, or he was still really sad about the Dimebag murder and everything. So after like 25, 30 phone calls, and the last phone call that they did with Vinny was hammered, listening, blasting Kiss on his car, and he was in the mood. He was like in the music mood, and they asked him again, "Hey man, come on, let's do this band. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be huge."
Yeah.
And Vinny said, "You know, man, I'm listening to Kiss right now. I'm feeling great. I love music. My brother would love to see me play again. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it again."
Wow.
And he said, "Persistence pays off."
I love that.
Don't forget.
That's exactly, of course, like persistence always, man. And again, coming back to finding that balance, I think that's important. You know, it's like you want to make sure that you are persistent in a strategic and a non-annoying way.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
strategic and not annoying. Right.
Exactly.
All right. So is the collaboration with Billy Corgan, we'll see the light anytime soon?
Billy and I actually had a loss recently. Of how I met Billy was through his producer called Bjorn Thorsrud, and Bjorn passed away about 2 weeks ago. And let me rewind back to the beginning. So I was in a band in South Africa called Stealing Love Jones, and we were doing our second studio record, and we reached out to, being big Smashing Pumpkins fans, we reached out to Bjorn and said like, hey, can we fly you to South Africa to produce our next record? And we were like, we have no money, but it's like, we can pay you in like great safaris, you know? So so
Nice.
he came out and produced our record, which I'm so really proud of that album, and we became great friends. And then I ended up finishing that album with Bjorn in Chicago, which is where I met Billy for the first time. Bjorn took me out to, Billy was hosting his wrestling nights or whatever at this like really cool spot in downtown Chicago, and we were hanging out with like Billy and his brother and Bjorn, and it was a really fun night. And so losing Bjorn has been it was really tough for both of us, and Billy went live on his social media and did a wonderful tribute to him and spoke about him. So I sent Billy's assistant an email and was just like, hey man, you know, I know you're right in the middle of doing a new Smashing Pumpkins record, but let's finish this song and get it out to honor our friend. So we're kind of just in a holding pattern on that, but the song is ready to be released. I would like to hear more of Billy on it. So I'm patient. I'm in no hurry to fail, and the songs can wait. I have so many other songs that I'm going to put out, and when Billy's ready, it's like when he has time, I feel like that will be the time when the song is meant to be birthed. So
Right.
I'm in no rush about it. It's kind of on hold until I really hear Billy singing certain parts on it, and I'm just waiting for that. So we'll see what happens.
Great. What can you tell me about the other songs that that are done and ready to go?
So I'm releasing a song on the 17th of December. It's the first collaboration with Terry Corso, who is now the guitar player for We Are Pigs. He is the founding member of Alien Ant Farm, and we have a long history together, and we've decided we want to team up on the project for the rest of its lifespan. So we are releasing a track called Anorectic, which is super heavy and super crazy. So that'll come out on the 17th of December. And then in February, I have a track coming out with Kristen Davis from Grey Days. And then after that, I've got a song coming out with Keith Wallen from Breaking Benjamin. And then there's a track with Filter coming out. Filter, you know the band Filter. Hey
Filter.
man, yeah, Filter.
Right.
Filter.
Sorry.
I'll say it in an American accent so you can understand. Filter. Yeah, you know that the song Hey Man, Nice Shot, Airplane, that's Filter. And they're actually releasing, I approached Richard, who's the lead singer, and he's kind of like the We Are Pigs, he's like the Esjay of Filter, you know, it's his baby. And I approached him and was like, hey, do you want to do a track? I've got this track ready to go. And he was like, I love this track, can I use it for the Filter album? I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. So
congrats.
So one of the We Are Pigs, it's going to be a Filter song featuring We Are Pigs. So it's going to be a busy year next year. Hopefully lots of touring. We're trying to get radio play, all sorts of fun stuff going on. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like I don't really want to get out onto the road until coronavirus is completely dead and over with, you know, because it's just too risky to invest so much into touring and take all this risk and then have to shut down a tour or cancel nights. It's not smart business.
I agree with you.
So again, we'll just sit around and wait until the world gives us like the thumbs up. Like, okay, cool, coronavirus is no longer, we can actually play.
All right, let's hope for the best. So most of the We Are Pig songs have guests on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
90% of the songs.
Well, yeah, because this project was launched, like the marketing plan and the strategy of it was, okay, well, there's no touring. We don't know how long this pandemic's going to be. So let's launch the project off of other people's fans. So that was kind of the strategy behind it, and why there's a collaboration on everyone. Because I'm like, that's the best way to get, these guys have done all of this work. They're incredible artists, and I want to tap into their fan base. It just seemed like the smartest way to do it when there was no touring at all to be done.
I agree. So what date of February this song will be out?
I'm not sure about the February date, but December 17th is the next single.
Mm-hmm. If you make it to 11th, that's my birthday.
Oh, the 11th of February?
Yeah.
That's your birthday? Oh, maybe we'll have to do that. Let's see.
It will be a great gift for me.
Oh, it's a Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm putting it in my calendar right now. I'm gonna put a to be determined Paquette release. The song's called Paquette.
Oh, right. Thanks. So what can you tell me about the Great Days project, this EP, right, that you put out with Chester on vocals? I'm sorry I didn't do much research about this, but I think that those are tracks from 1998, I think.
Yeah, so
what was your involvement with those songs? You mixed it, you produced them when they were about to be released?
So the first record, which has come out already, I produced 5 songs on that album. And basically we took the reels that were recorded in demos on tape between 1994 and 1997. And we just removed Chester's vocal from those tapes, and we rewrote all the music around it to be in like a slightly more modern way. So on the first record, I produced 5 songs, and then the band hired me to produce this entire new record, which we worked on throughout the pandemic. And then we went into studio in March or February and recorded, tracked all the instruments. So there's 10 songs on the new album. We did collaborations with Dave Navarro, with Richard Patrick from Filter. And yeah, the first single, I believe, comes out in January. So, and the album is phenomenal. This record, it feels like a band. The first album was cool, but it felt like what it was. It had many producers on it, so it had very different feels from producer to producer.
That's great.
It was kind of done more like a pop record, and this next record is just, it feels like the band. It has soul. It's super heavy. It's I mean, Chester just shines on this thing, man. So,
he was really young back then, like what, 14, 15 years old?
Yes, I think he was 17 at this time. And his voice to me is just, it's unbridled and just raw, and there's just something about it that is different to how he sounded in Linkin Park.
It was really unique. Really something. I think Monkey and Head did some guitars for those tracks as well.
They did, and that's how I met Monkey and Head, and how Head and I became friends, and why I thank Chester for bringing us together. You know, he really has brought so many amazing people into my life.
All right. I wasn't that lost about this topic.
You know what's up. You know what's up.
So Esjay, during our first interview with Morgan, I told you that to me, We Are Pigs sounds really unique, really different compared to pretty much everything that was done and it's out there right now. And we call it SJ metal, remember?
Yes, I'm into it.
So my question is, what's the secret? What's the recipe to create something that's really different about compared to everything else, especially in 2020, 2019, where this started? Because some years ago, maybe around 2005, 2010, some fans around the world, because I heard this in the States, here in South America, everywhere, they say everything's done. You can expect new types of music, new types of metal. You know, we got heavy thrash, death, new metal, metalcore, deathcore, and that's it. We can't create anything new. But here comes We Are Pigs that, at least, like I said, to me, sounds really, really different. So what's the secret? What's the recipe?
Well, thanks. You know, I mean, honestly, everything is borrowed and derived from something. You know, there is, you always will have influences, and you will always have you know, bands or artists that you strive to sound like, or that you want something to sound like. I think maybe what sets this project apart is that I really don't care if anybody likes it or not. And I think I think this has been a completely self-indulgent project, and it really has been about art for me. It's like, I really don't care if you like it or not. It's like, I could care less. This is 100% for me and for my satisfaction as an artist. You know, it's like, I feel like, you know, sometimes there's things that you have to do in order to make yourself happy, and this is my thing that I have to do to make myself happy, and to keep my happiness at the level of happy which I like to be at in life, you know, is to create stuff that I like. And I've been in the pop music industry for so long that being told how to write stuff in this cookie cutter way I've just got tired of being told what to do. And I guess my rebellious nature is just like, well, I'm going to do my own thing then, you know. But I mean, it's definitely got lots of borrowed pieces. And you know, I'm a huge Sneaker Pimps fan, so like vocally, that's kind of where I wanted it to be, was from that first Becoming X Sneaker Pimps kind of 90s pop vocal feel, but in like a really alternative way. And then obviously very Deftonesy at the same time. You know, I don't have a drummer, so I'm programming everything. So I'm like, what would Abe Cunningham do? You know, and then so it really is just borrowing a bunch of pieces and sticking them together and
I
putting
think that's
them
the one with the Around the Fur beat.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. You know, so it's like it's like the cool thing is that it's really weird, but drum beats aren't considered music or something that you can copyright. So, you know, it's kind of like taking people's ideas in terms of like, you know, I would never think of playing the snare in that position, you know, but oh, they did that. That's a cool idea. I'm going to program it like that. So I mean, there's a lot of borrowing and a lot of jumping beyond and just being creative and weird and throwing things and see if it sticks. So I mean, I am of the mind that nothing is unique anymore. You know, everything really is borrowed from something. It's just how you are able to frame it on a new palette. You know,
so a new twist.
Exactly. Just how we were talking about with the acoustic guitar, you know, it's just being able to fit something in a slightly different way, but still really honoring where it came from, you know.
You just remind me, you know, Pantera is my favorite band ever. since I was a little
cool.
kid. Yeah. And as I grew up, I discovered Kiss. And I knew that Pantera was an influence on Kiss. But when I saw Kiss live for the first time, and they were doing this special tour where they only play tunes from the first three albums. It was really, really old school. And I was watching Kiss live for the first time, and I was like, man, Dimebag really ripped off Ace really like bad, man. Like
I
big
mean,
time.
I mean, I like to. There's a difference between like ripping something off and
Yeah,
just
man,
being
ripped
and
off.
kind of
Yeah,
putting your own spin on it,
yeah,
you
totally.
know.
So
Um,
I was kind of joking, you know.
no, totally. I get it. And I mean, I'm completely honest about it. It's like it's like this project is heavily based off of Sneaker Pimps and heavily based off of Deftones. You know, it's like those are the two things I want this to be. So it's like, why reinvent the wheel? Like when it's just an honoring project of like, you know, of you created me.
Yeah,
So it's
totally.
kind of like these are my gods who have created this, you know, for me to channel through. And it's cool. I think it's really important for us as musicians and or whatever your artwork may be. If you are a videographer, you know, I think it's important to have people that you can be inspired by and learn from. You know, it's like, and then you take those little things and you make them your own.
Yeah, I remember when I was listening to that We Are Pig songs. I don't remember the title, but that one, the drum beat at the beginning, I was like, hey, wait, that's Around the Fur.
Totally.
And then I was watching more videos in your channel, and you did some interview in your studio, and you said like really open, yeah, it was the drum beat from Around the Fur. We did a little change here and there, blah blah blah. And I was like, nice. She's honest about it actually. So
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to be not honest about. You know, it's like I think a lot of times, I mean that, and it's probably because I learned this horrible thing from the pop music industry, you know, but like that's how every single pop hit that you hear on radio is written. They like, well, this is the formula. And you know, so and why every song sounds exactly the same is because they cookie cutter formula. And so it's just like, well, you know what, I want to start like writing something in this vein. Let me start seeing if I can channel it through and understand it. And what best way to do it than to you know, go to the source and pick things apart. So
and not only pop music. Do you know by any chance reggaeton music?
Dude, I love reggaeton.
Oh, really? That's amazing. Well, I hate it. Because down here,
I love it.
Down here in Peru, you know, if you turn on the radio, it's all about reggaeton in every damn station, practically. And it's the same beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like it's basically just like taking a beat and writing a different top line. It's all derived from the same thing. It really is. So not to be cynical and sound like completely shitty, but it's like it's all been done. It's all the same. It's just like how to put your own flair on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's shocking news to me that you like
You're like, oh, there's no Santa Claus. No.
That's the blabbermouth headline. Esjay Jones. Yeah. I like reggaeton. Yeah. But you actually dance to it or not?
I mean, I love going to Mexico a lot. So it's like, you know, all of the kind of cumbia.
Oh, you know cumbia? Oh, amazing!
Of course.
Oh, you're a producer. Well,
all of that stuff is so unique to me because of the drum beats, and that's kind of for me how most songs are. Whether I really like something or not is based off of the drum beats, and I like things really busy, and that's just, you know, my taste, and it's not everybody's taste, which is which is so cool. It's why there's art. You know, you're gonna love something and I'm not gonna love something, or vice versa. But
Yeah.
I also think there's, you know, people need to be a little kinder about, you know, whether they like something or not. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Since you said that thing about the drum beats and the drummer, Abe Cunningham from Deftones is really something. You know, he's really unique as well.
He's amazing. He's amazing. He's my favorite drummer.
Nice.
Like if I could, and that was where the project kind of started, you know, was going, if I could play with any drummer in the world, who would it be? And I was like, Abe Cunningham, that's who I want my drummer to be. So I can't physically have him here with me. So let me dig into some Deftones songs and see what he does, you know. And he's so cool with where he places his kick and where he places his snare. Like sometimes it's push and sometimes it's late. And then like his hi-hat work is just phenomenal, you know. And it's not something that I could ever replicate, you know, programming, because I don't have his body clock. But it's definitely inspiring.
Oh yeah, I love his drumming on White Pony, especially on that one. If you like this interview, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share the video with all your friends. Also, very important, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.